Broncos Titans NFL Week 10 from Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee. That is the venue for this Sunday's game between the Broncos and the Titans. Matthew Peterson here with you guys today for a Week 10 preview. Now, quick, tiny disclaimer. I had to film this a little bit in advance. Had some stuff pop up on the schedule, unfortunately. So if anything gets dated or anything kind of gets updated, just skip over it, gloss over it. I'm sorry it's not the most up-to-date video. But let's run through some stats. I've got some injury reports. I've got some keys to victory. We're going to sprinkle that in throughout today's video. But let's sort of set the foundation today by looking at these two ball clubs here, Broncos and Titans, and comparing their offenses to start, which have both been very underwhelming. For Denver, a lot of offensive notes that rank towards the bottom of the league. 15 points per game. That's good for 30th in the NFL. The Titans, they're only a field goal better, 18 points per game. Now, the Broncos offense doesn't have a big issue with actually moving the football. It's the red zone where they're awful in. They're a 35% conversion rate for touchdowns. Meanwhile, for the Titans, they do struggle mightily. They're pulling teeth to get first downs and move the football. But when they do get in the red zone, they are first in the NFL at 78%. That is the difference between these two teams, in my opinion. What they do in the red zone. The Broncos kick far too many field goals. The Titans, they punch their rare tickets to the end zone in for touchdowns. As for the defense, this is probably going to be a defensive battle. Denver's defense is second overall in points allowed, allowing 16.5 a game. Titans, not far from it, 19, just another field goal difference between these two teams in the points category. Takeaways, they're both doing decently well in terms of trying to get the football away from the other team and whatnot. The Broncos defense, much better than the Titans defense, but the Titans defense is not something to shy away from. They've got some great playmakers that we'll talk about and run through during today's show. But my keys to victory start with this. And hopefully, when you're watching this, we don't have a brand new update. But Malik Willis starts. And if Malik Willis starts and the Broncos lose because Malik Willis puts on a clinic, everyone come to this channel on Sunday and dunk on me. FPD, all that stuff. But I am confident that if Malik Willis starts, the Broncos will have a much better chance of winning this game. And Ryan Tannehill, who missed last week, his first missed start to an injury in Tennessee, he was on his way to breaking some records over in Nashville. But with Malik Willis starting the last couple of games, last week on Sunday Night Football against the Chiefs, he was awful. 5 for 16, 80 yards, had 3 sacks, a QBR of 10.6. Malik Willis simply was a fish out of water against the Chiefs on Sunday night, and he looked in way over his head. The OC for Tennessee, Todd Downing, did not do him many favors, did not draw up or call up a lot of easy completions to get his young quarterback into a rhythm. So the injury to monitor here is Ryan Tannehill, who was out last week, the last 2 weeks. This week to start practice, he has been limited. I'm guessing this will be another case of game time decision. I think this is just Mike Vrabel not wanting the Broncos to know what to expect. And having said all that, maybe by the time you're watching this, Braves and the Titans have already made an announcement. But if Tannehill is out, that is a huge break for Denver. All right, second key to victory. Next man up without Bradley Chubb. The Broncos are without their top pass rusher this season moving forward, and this is their first game without 55. And they're going to have someone step up and take his place. Specifically, how about Draymond Jones? Guy who was the AFC Player of the Week last time out on the field. Now he was talking about his contract earlier this week, so you might have seen some content on that, to say the least here. But 5.5 sacks, that's all he had last season. He's already reached that total midway through the year. In fact, I think he has 21 sacks since joining the Broncos in 2019. That's the most of anyone on the team. Now, Baron Browning is out. Easy, Matthew. He is dealing with a hip injury, out from practice. Not out for the game just yet. Maybe he is by the time you're watching this. But Baron Browning is definitely a name to watch for. DJ Jones, Randy Gregory. Gregory unlikely to play, and Josie Jewell still with that knee injury. Hopefully he's close to 100%. But what about Nick Bonitto? a guy who's not on that list, but a guy who has really stepped up the last couple of weeks, right? Against the Jags, his best game so far in his young career. He had a forced fumble. He had a sack. Nick Bonitto is definitely a name that I am watching for to take a big leap. And maybe sooner than this coaching staff was expecting him to, but they're calling on his number right now. If Chubb and Gregory are down, and it's just like last year where the Broncos are without their top 2 pass rushers, one due to injury, one due to trade, well, Bonitto, he's going to have a bigger footprint on this defense. Who's your X factor on this defense, right? Who is the guy that you think it all sort of runs through? Maybe not the best player, maybe not Patrick Surtain, but the actual middle of this defense that if he comes to play, this team and this defense is going to have their best game yet. Josie Jewell could be a good one. Alex Singleton quietly leads this team in tackles. Let me know who the X factor is in your opinion. All right, third key to victory here. Hackett scripts a good start. So we're going to talk more about the Tennessee Titans during this sort of third of the show, or fifth or whatever, because Nathaniel Hackett needs to have his team firing at all cylinders early in this game. Why? Because the Titans are good for one half, and that is the first half. Look at the Tennessee Titans by halves through the first 9 weeks of the season. Anything pop out to you? How about all the donuts in the second half? Yeah, the Titans have been abysmal in the second half. They win their games in the first half and hope that their defense can maintain the lead in the second half. I mean, they have scored 116 first half points this year. Only 33 points in the second half. Now, they have had some momentum the last 3 weeks, and that's just because they put some scoring up, but I'm not going to run with 10 points in the second half against probably the worst football team in the NFL, the Houston Texans, as they're starting to figure it out through all 4 quarters here. The Titans defense is not an easy defense to make a comeback on. So if you find yourself trailing at the half against Tennessee, that's right where Tennessee wants to be, because the Titans, they're not comeback kids this year, right? They are not that type of football team. They want to get an early lead, and they want to put their foot down your throat in the second half and go, you're not going to beat our defense in the last 2 quarters. And our offense, it sucks in the second half, but it can do enough to hold on to the football and run the clock out. We have been growing like crazy, by the way, here at the channel. I want to get to 10,500 subscribers. And right now, we are 11 subs away. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. Click onto that subscribe button, and I'm going to guarantee money back from a free YouTube channel. You get the best Broncos coverage. All right, I also want to give a shout out right now to some new subscribers we picked up here at the channel not too long ago. Joe, appreciate you. Brandon Waters, Jimmy Sauber. I can't pronounce that. Folk something, but you've been here for a long time. Folksy Prince? Wow, Folksy Prince. You put my brain through a pretzel right there, Ricky Bobby. And then Colton Ensley. Appreciate all of you subscribers. Some new, some not so new. Nevertheless, really appreciate all the support you guys give us here at the show. All right, fourth key to victory here is the best game for the offensive line. This Titans defense isn't maybe the scariest defense football has ever seen, but they get a lot of pressure from their guys up front. And that's a defensive coordinator's dream and an offensive coordinator's nightmare. Because what does that mean in English? Well, the Titans don't need to blitz. They can rely on their front 4 to get after the quarterback, do a good job of it, and keep their linebackers in coverage to bottle up the middle of the field. Now, the Broncos, newsflash, had more injuries. Lloyd Cushenberry got put on IR. So here are my projected Week 10 starters for Denver. I think Graham Glasgow is going to stay at center. That's been the plan all week. Don't expect any change right there. He did a good job of filling in for Cush during the Jags' second half of the game. Calvin Anderson probably staying at left tackle. Cam Fleming is on the injury report. Did not practice earlier. Not too optimistic he is good to go, but that could be a change we see right there. And then we get to these guys. the big playmakers for the Titans defense so far. Now, they've got their fair share of injuries as well. Danico Autry, he did not practice during this week as well. Jeffrey Simmons was spotted in a walking boot. He's had a nagging ankle injury all year, last couple of weeks. Bud Dupree has been on and off with a hip injury. So Tennessee is going to be limping into this game, but they've also had some big-time playmakers. Autry leading the way, 7 sacks. Simmons not far behind. Rashid Weaver, a really good linebacker of theirs. So they've got some dudes. They got some guys. They got some playmakers. All right, final key to victory for Denver here, slowing down Derrick Henry. I'm not going to stand up here and say, you have to stop Henry if you want to win this game. No, that's not true for a couple of reasons. One, it's not easy to stop Derrick Henry. Two, the numbers actually don't really support that. But Derrick Henry right now is the NFL rushing leader at 870 yards. Now, they have been using him a lot. Look at that usage. It's high usage. 183 carries. They love to pound the football with 22. But to all of you that say, you got to stop Derrick Henry if you want to win the game, it's not always the case, actually. Let me tell you why. The Titans are 9-12 when Derrick Henry rushes for less than 100 yards in the last 2 seasons from 2019. 2019, 2020, 2021, 9-12. It's a lot of wins, actually. It doesn't always just run through Derrick Henry. They can do more than just run the football, believe it or not. Now, that requires Ryan Tannehill. And if he's not out there, that's going to change things. But this idea that the Tennessee Titans only win when Derrick Henry has a good game and they lose if Henry has a bad game just isn't actually that true. All right, what is your key to the game? I give 5 keys. I'm curious what your key is. Let me know in the comments section. We'll sort of wrap up today's show with this question right here. But take it as an opportunity to sort of be the host, right? Be your own Broncos media expert or whatever you want to call it. And let me know what your key to the game is in the comments. I appreciate everyone for tuning into today's show, making us a part of your day. I'm going to sign off. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. And what do you got? Broncos Titans. Let me know. How about we wrap up today's show with that question, actually? Who you got? Broncos Titans.